Hey Pams, it's day 21. I'm getting ready to head out for a walk. Last couple of days haven't been really 100%, haven't been feeling well, so didn't get out and do much striding, just minimal, 1,000, 2,000 steps over the last couple of days. Today I'm just going to get out and do a big walk, and I'm feeling a lot better, so just going to stride it out, and our team's doing well. Almost at the tail end, so by the end of this week, by Friday, it'll be a week till we end our challenge. So we end on the 31st, the May-rathon step challenge, and our teams are smashing it out, our ADRA team, so awesome. So we're out and about, day 21. Stick with us. And I'm going to hit the bus stop, get a bus stop blurb in, so you'll be up to date after watching today. Yeah, I didn't do any vlogs for day 19 or day 20 because I wasn't feeling great to get out. Got a bit more energy back, and we're good to go right now. So yeah, it's dusky evening here in the hood where we live, and so we're getting out to stride, get our steps for our step challenge. And good to connect with teammates. My teammate Renola has been based in Logan this week with us at our centre. She's not normally there, she's from head office down in Sydney. She's been helping with our finance officer, just sorting out accounts and getting things up to date and sorting out some bits and pieces. So it's been good to have her here. I haven't been checking on her walking, but yeah. And then I did worship for our ADRA staff this morning, ADRA Australia staff in Sydney, just on Zoom, and saw my other teammate, Alison. She spoke out about keep walking, so the team's still buoyant. Still doing well, so we're out and about now. I'm going to try and connect a big walk in this evening, get round the trap, so come with me and enjoy, see what the bus stop blurb is for this today's walk. So my last bus stop blurb on the 18th, day 18, was about faith and sharing faith, having faith. So I missed a couple of days, and I'm going to share a new bus stop blurb with you. I'm just trying to see the path because the light is quite bright, but if you don't have the light, you can't see me. Bugs everywhere. So let me just get my footing right on the road, and then I'll be able to face the camera. So yeah, so today's bus stop blurb and today's topic for our walk is something different. I remember growing up, my earliest recollection of friends and friendships was my siblings, my sisters and my cousins, and they're the very first people that I can recall, my very first consciousness of friends. And then I've been fortunate. I went to kindergarten back in the days at the kindergarten behind our house, and then I went to primary school, started at Manurewa East Primary School, which was a couple of kilometres away from our house, and I made friends there. And I can't remember a lot of friends from that far back because that was like, that's almost 60 years ago. That was 58 years ago, so I can't remember that far back and the friends that I had back then, but I remember my school days fondly, and then my neighbours were some of my best friends as well, because we had good neighbours next door. They were similar age, the boys were similar age to me, the Mackenzie family, and then the McCulloch family, and then the Absalom family. So these were families in Manurewa at the time, and we would run amok in the neighbourhood, being friends as well. I went to South Auckland Seventh Day Adventist Primary School after Manurewa East, and enjoyed some lifelong friendships with people that I met there. So, and some of those people I'm still in touch with to this very day. And they, like I said, lifelong friends. And you make friends along the way. What makes a good friend? You know? And I can think of some of those people who I'm still connected with today. Went to high school and went on and did some tertiary studies and later in life. Yeah, but friends are really important. I remember leaving South Auckland SDA Primary School and then trying to get out to high school. My first high school was Asda, the Auckland Seventh Day Adventist High School, and I went there as a third former. Back in those days, that was the naming of the years: Form 3, Form 4, Form 5, Form 6, Form 7 in New Zealand. And you went on to university, or you went on to do other things post-school. I went to Asda at 13. Had some good friends there, you know, good friends in my class. Ralphie Chiwali, Philip Roberts, Paula Tuai. We were boys, and then one of my relatives, Brent Warwick, we were in the same class, but he was a family connection of my father's from the Lango family. Brent's grandmother was related to my Sibai, related to my father, and so the Warwick family. And Brent and I still keep in touch today. He's into his music. He's a dentist in Auckland, doing his music. And I remember my third and fourth form years at ASDA were dynamic. I connected with a lot of different people at that stage, but also I learned a lot about friends and having good friends. So, you know, that was a positive thing as well. But in those years, I kind of thought to myself, man, I hate Asda. And what I liked about it was a church school, and you know, it was a faith school. But what I didn't like about it was that everyone was trying to be bad. And all the young people there were, so most of them were from Adventist families, or they were young people kicked out of state schools, and Asda was the only school that would take them. And so, you know, I convinced my parents to let me go to the state school because I didn't like the school experience there. So I ended up telling my parents, oh, you know, Otahuhu College has more options for school certificate, and they did. And Asda doesn't have the options that I want to take, and they didn't. And so my mum and dad were okay with me leaving and going to Otahuhu College. And when I got there, you know, and I basically left Asda because I didn't like the vibe of students who were just trying to be bad. You know, they were trying to drink, they were trying to take drugs, they were trying to just be worldly. And I thought to myself, I might as well go to a worldly school if it's going to be like that. I got to Otahuhu College, and it was way worse. You know, there were scraps every day. It was a bigger school. You know, I went from a school of maybe 200, 250 pupils. That's from like Form 3 to Form 7, to a college of maybe 2,000 students, Otahuhu College. So it opened up my eyes, but also I made some really good friends there as well. So one of my best friends, Sam Palau, I met at Otahuhu College. We were in the same maths class, and Sam was my good friend. He became my good friend in Mrs. Ross's math class, and I think he was just my friend because I was good at maths. One of the things that I learnt was that at ASDA, our maths teacher, Mr. Walsh, Stan Walsh, shout out to Stan Walsh for being such an awesome teacher. He was the basketball coach as well, so he rewarded us. Don't tell the education department, but he rewarded us by, if we finished our lessons in time, he let us go and play basketball outside, so I love that. And I learned maths was one of my strong subjects, and when I got to OD College I didn't know what level I was at until I got there. And in Form 5 School Certificate Maths, I was one of the top students in Ms. Ross's class, and that's probably why Sam Palau became my good friend. He was my maths buddy. We sat together in maths class and tried to learn the lessons for each day, which was awesome. And yeah, Sam became a lifelong friend, and sadly he passed away some years ago, but I still count him as one of my best friends, and it's great that I had the experience of meeting him at OD College, and then, you know, we caught up later and beyond OD College as well, and continued a good friendship. So OD was a great turning point for me, and I was there for 2 years, Form 5, Form 6. I did my first sixth form there, and I had to repeat. I ended up going to James Cook High School, which was in May-rathon. And while I was at Otahu, I stayed with my cousins, my cousin Lisiki and her husband Miakoa. They lived down the road from Otahu College to the corner of Walmsley Road, and I stayed with them and walked to school during the week, and then on Fridays I went home to my family, and then on Mondays I come back to school, spend the rest of the week with them. So I'm grateful to them. They only had little rugrats. They had Sam and Manaia at the time, and they were so young, and they were infants, not even in school yet, and it gave me the opportunity to have some peace and quiet in the evenings to study. And thankful to my cousin sister Lisiki for looking after me during that time, and that was a great bond to have. So OD College was great for me. One of my other good friends there was Tufa, Mā Tufa Fautua. The Palangi's couldn't pronounce his last name, Fautua, so they called him Fart, because they pronounced it Fatua. So his nickname was Fart. Don't tell him, but if he sees this, it's too late anyway. That's the truth. So his nickname was Fart, and he was at OD College as well, and we were both Lango boys. Rocky Bai, his father, and my father, both from the village of Lango in Savai. And so we were good friends, and lifelong friends. We're still in contact, even though he ended up going to California and doing a science degree, and became a chemist, and works in some groundbreaking technologies now, where they're doing robotics. But we still keep in touch, and he was here last year actually. He came to Brisbane for a family thing, and we caught up and had dinner together, and we still keep in touch online. So it's great when you've got friends, you know, and friends are awesome about life. It doesn't matter if you're not in proximity to one another, you can stay in touch with each other, and that's what technology's allowed us to do. Yeah, so after OD College, I wanted to get home, or get closer to home, repeat my sixth form year. I had too many friends at Otahu, so I wanted to focus a bit more. I ended up going to James Cook High School. Get this, back in 1980, James Cook was a Palangi school. In the senior school, in the sixth form, there were two islanders, myself and my cousin Tim Pono. And there were a few Māoris, but mainly Barangis. So, you know, I was going to a school that was totally different in its makeup to Otahu College. And I really didn't have too many friends to start out with. I'd gone there as a senior, so it was a bit trickier. But I made friends while I was there and enjoyed school life. I did so well, I got accredited my sixth form year when I was at James Cook. So I knuckled in, got some work done, and back then you didn't have to sit final exams if you got accredited because of your year's work. So some of you my age will understand what accreditation is. And fortunately I was accredited because I would have not made it to final exams. And if I didn't get accredited, I would have had to knuckle in for a few weeks of study to get over those exams at the end of the year. So it was a good move for me, and I enjoyed it. And James Cook High School is just around the corner from where we live now, or where our family home is in Claymore Street. So we didn't live in Claymore Street when I went to James Cook. I still had to travel for miles, but we ended up buying the house there later in life. Well, guess what time it is? It's bus stop blurb time, and I'm here at the bus stop, my regular bus stop. I've spent a couple of days at different bus stops. So, you know, Saturday night I was at the bus stop in Mansfield. On Sunday I ended up at the bus stop at the park near on Reserve Road, where we had volleyball, and then I didn't walk on day 19, which was Monday and Tuesday. I didn't do a walk or a bus stop blurb. I might fill a video for you just to catch you up with a bus stop blurb for those 2 days, if you want to. That's okay. Anyway, the bus stop blurb topic is friendship. And I've talked about my friendships and some of my friendships growing up. And friends are really important. You know, it's very hard to have friends sometimes if you're not a good friend yourself. And, you know, how do you make friends? How do you start to build friendship? And sometimes it's just a matter of talking to people, getting to know people, finding out what their likes are, listening to their longings and their losses, and learning a bit more about them. So I've had some wonderful friends. I still have great friends through time. I've enjoyed some awesome friendships, and I'm thankful to God, grateful for those friendships that I have had. And I believe if you want to have good friends, be a good friend. Yeah. And be a good friend to others. So that really helps. So there are people who are walking past, they're probably, who is that guy? Is he a famous influencer? I don't want to influence people. I just want to impact people's lives. I want to make sure that they can have some significance by having the kingdom gospel within you. So, yeah, friends are really important. I went on from James Cook and had some really good friends at James Cook. And some of the boys, most of the boys I was friends with at James Cook were from Manurewa. They were good friends already. The guys I played basketball with, Tunani Nia and Troy Buckingham and Winston Ryan, who was from the Ryan family, really good rugby players. So those guys were my friends. The guys in my age group, my class, were a year younger than me because I'd repeated my sixth form. It didn't matter though, because I didn't really hang out with them. They weren't really close friends, apart from Hashimoto, who was a good friend, Māori boy, who we got around with. But because I was at home in Manurewa for school, I pretty much hung out at the recreation centre in Manurewa, played basketball, just hung locally, which was really great. I didn't have to travel, I could walk to school and make friends. I had some girlfriends, different girlfriends, but you know, nothing in terms of really strong relationships. I really had some good friendships, and that's what I remember most about James Cook. One day I got up and just thought to myself, I don't want to go to school anymore. We've just finished doing a geography camp down to Pauanui, and we'd stayed at one of our teachers. Our geography teacher had a family batch, and it's like a 2-story, 5-bedroom batch just off the beach in Pauanui. We stayed there Girls stayed upstairs, boys stayed downstairs. A couple of us boys had a tent, so we just stayed in the tent. We got to try out a bit of surfing and trying to do water sports and climbing a mountain. Just a week of geography. We were mapping the foreshore. I think we were actually helping him with his master's thesis or something. It was like a longitudinal study of mapping out the foreshore, and I'm sure he took every 7th form class down there, and they were pretty much probably contributing to his thesis by mapping out the foreshore. And he was looking at erosion and tidal movements and that sort of thing, sand, all that kind of geographical stuff that people enjoy. But for us, it was just a week down there. We had to write up a workbook. When he asked for my workbook, I was like, I'm leaving school, sir, sorry. And that was it. So I stayed home a few days. My mum said to me, aren't you going to school? And I said, nah, Mum, I'm finished with school. And then my mum said, well, you better go on the dole. You better go and find a job. And so I stopped going to school in probably March. And about May, I did my formal exit from school, and I went and signed up at the dole office as unemployed, and I got $32, $33 a week. Woohoo! I'm in the money. Back then, 1980. So I started getting an income, but it wasn't long, and I got a job, in the BNZ Bank, and I worked in the Auckland City branch on Queen Street, and I made some friends there too. So I had some young friends. I used to kick about. I was getting paid more than $30 a week, because there, my very first day of work, I got paid $44 just for the one day. And I thought, oh, this is good. And that was back in 1980. Yeah, no, actually 1981 I did that. So in 1981, in July 1981, the 1st of July, I started in the BNZ Bank in Auckland, and my salary for the year was $7,798, something like that, for a whole year. And I thought, ooh, now you're living. No, wasn't really living, but I was still living at home. So yeah, I didn't make too many friends, like lifelong friends at the bank. I ended up getting married while I was there, getting transferred to another branch out at Manukau, closer to home. And I've had some of my school friends are still lifelong friends to this day. So friendships are really important, and I hope that you've got some good friends, and it's your friends who will tell you the real deal. They'll give you the hard truths, and if they're real friends, they will tell you what the real truth is. They won't sugarcoat things, because they want you to grow. So I'm grateful for the friends that I've had and the friends that I still have. And even after school, I started to build more friends in the workplace, in church life. I really had some really good friends. Pastor Paul Siopi was a really good friend. Still a good friend. We don't connect as often as we used to, but I just value the times that we had together, just building the kingdom, extending the kingdom of God, and planting a church together, and just getting along and doing the gospel. And how good is that? So friendships are the bus stop blurb for today, and I hope that you do have some good friends. If not, be a good friend, and you'll attract good friends to yourself. And it's my prayer that you will enjoy friendships for life. That you'll have friends for the rest of your life because of the friend that you are as well. So you can hear the traffic's pretty busy here. I'm going to keep walking, get back to my home base, and shower up and relax for the evening. But I'm back in the walk, day 21 for today, and it is all about friendships. So please, whatever you are doing, wherever you are, be a good friend, be that good friend, and you will attract other friends to you. The best friend to have is Jesus, and I couldn't do life without having the best friend. There's that song, I am a friend of God, I am a friend of God, I am a friend of God, He calls me friend. Yeah, God loves us, He looks out for us, He calls us His friend. He's the best friend to have. So I want to encourage you, wherever you're at in life, find some good friends And the best friend to have is Jesus. Reach out. He's always going to be there. I remember one of my friends was a young kid named Paul Brunga, and Paul, I think, had a birthday party when I was young, and he ended up inviting some of us to his party, and he was about 8 years old. I think it was his 8th birthday. It wasn't, he wasn't that old, and a group of us got invited, and I can't even remember all I can remember about the party is that Paul's father was a pilot, and because he was a pilot, he took us all. There was about 8 of us that went to the party. I think it was his 8th or 9th birthday, and his house was in just off Puanui Road in Papatoe, for those of you who know the area, in Auckland, New Zealand. And he drove us to Ardmore Aerodrome and put us on, I think it was like a 4-seater Cessna or something, and he took us in groups up in the air, and we flew over Auckland. It was amazing. It was the first time I'd gotten to ride in a small plane like that, and it was amazing to see the vistas across Auckland, and I'm grateful to my friend Paul Brunga. I don't know whatever happened to him, but that was one of my first memories of a birthday, being held by one of my friends and being invited. There's another story of another good friend. His name was Aaron Jaffers, and Aaron would have been somebody who these days would have been classified ADHD. He was hyper to the max. Well, you know, we didn't have those diagnoses back then. Anyway, he had a solo mum. She had a birthday for him. I think it might have been his 10th birthday. She invited a group of us, and they were Balangis, you know, they were white people, and they lived in Otara. They lived in the hood, and they lived around the corner from Rongamai Primary School, off Beards Road. Flatbush Road. Yeah, and Dawson Road, off Dawson Road. And I can't even remember the food at his birthday, but one of the things I do remember is that he got given a go-kart for his birthday, and he probably invited a small group of us to his birthday because the go-kart didn't come with an engine. And us boys ended up having so much fun that day, pushing that cart and taking turns in it all around the streets of Otara there. We'd find a hill and push it down a hill, and yippee, and then we'd push it all the way back up. So Aaron, thank you for having that birthday, inviting me and some of your closest buddies. And also, I kept in touch with Aaron, and every now and again I do touch base with him. I'm not sure whether he's still alive. The last time I spoke with his wife, he was not doing too well with his health, and it reminds me to give him a call or look him up again. And his wife found me on Facebook because Aaron would talk about me all the time. So it's been a few years since I connected, but now that I recall and now that I'm blogging it, I'll get in touch with Aaron and see how he is, my good buddy. Aaron was one of those boys, he was so hyper. His mum was at who would see him sometimes and what to do with him. She ended up sending him to Tipini, the Māori boarding school, St. Stephen's, out at Bombay's. Yeah, so Aaron spent his time at Tipini, and it actually helped him. It actually helped him, gave him a bit of discipline. He was a good rugby player. He was pretty healthy back in those days. He was a fast runner. I think he was a bit faster than me. Anyway, but we ended up enjoying life as youngsters and enjoying his birthday. So I'm just trying to find the street that I'm going down. This is it. I'm going to find my way back right around the loop that I'll be walking, get back to my house. Ooh, getting a good walk, and I've done a really big loop because I wanted to catch up on some extra steps from not walking yesterday and the day before. So I've done a real big grid. I'll put a map down so you can see where I've been, where I'm headed. And I'm grateful to live in a relatively peaceful country like Australia. It is peaceful. Not crime free, but it's peaceful. But to be able to walk in the dark like this around a neighbourhood where families are in their homes and peaceful, it's so awesome. You know, it's a blessing to be in a country like Australia. And other countries, some countries, you couldn't do this at night. You know, it's early evening here, probably 6:30 or something. Let me have a look. Yeah, 6:49, 10 to 7 p.m. And you couldn't do this in some countries. So to live in a relatively safe country, great neighbourhood. I live in 8 Mile Plains. You'll see from the map the circuit that I do. To be able to do that here, walk freely. I've seen a few other walkers striding by at night. Some joggers, some cyclists, people on their scooters. Sometimes you can't do that in some countries, so grateful that I live here and grateful to be able to step it out day or night. No matter where I am, I can catch a bit of a journey of walking. So somewhere up ahead here is where I'm going to turn into the street off where I live off. So just doing an update, keep you updated while you're on this journey with me. I'm a bit puffed out, but I'm going uphill now, so you can hear my breath. Pump it up, 1 foot in front of the other, 1 step at a time. Yeah. Well, made it back, day 21 walk, and yeah, that was good distance for 2 days. That was good power walk, and I did a bigger loop just so I could get up to my 10,000 steps. I've just gone over it, which is really good. The body feels good, and I'm just going to rest up now, shower up, and relax. Have something to eat, actually. I'm hungry. Have something to eat, have some dinner, and relax for the night. So yeah, thanks for coming with me for the walk and hearing about friendships. Yeah, think about your friendships and who your friends are, and you know, I can tell you who you are by who your friends are.